G'day folks, this is Dragon, Aussie Survivors, conjunction with Survival HQ. Just a short video today. I'm out at a friend's place repairing his radio communications antennas. It's part of our backup for emergency communications in times of disaster, and they certainly prove their worth with the disasters we've had in this area over the last couple of years. The radio comms that we use, this place here is about probably 70 or 80 k away from my place as a crow flies. One of the things with communication systems is it doesn't matter how hard the building is or where your communications gear is, it's always the antennas outside that cop the flogging in severe weather type disaster situations. This is a typical example. About 12 months ago, this is a fiberglass antenna for the 11 metre band, and well-known brand, and they got a very severe electrical storm through here, about 150 km/h winds, and just see there, didn't stand up to it. It snapped it like a twig. So we quickly had a spare antenna at home. Had someone give me a few years ago, a very light antenna, so we had to quickly repair the damaged antenna, the fiberglass one, replace it with this one. And early this year, when we had some east coast lows come down the coast of Queensland, high winds and so forth, this is made out of aluminium tubing for the 11 metre band, and yeah, instead of standing vertical, got this huge kink in here, just bend it like a piece of wire. So right here today I've got a much heavier one. I've managed to get onto a much heavier type aluminium one. We're not going back to fiberglass, and I'll do a short section on that soon. So for emergency communications, radio communications, you've really got to look at your antennas, how exposed they are to severe winds and that sort of thing, because as I said, it doesn't matter how hard your building is, where your comms gear is, it's always the front end. The antenna's just in the cops the flogging, and the winds around here, part of storm central in my part of the state, they really wreck antennas. Alright, back later folks. Okay folks, this is the base of the new antenna we're putting on. It's all aluminium construction. I'm not going to go too much into technical specs on this, but if you compare it to this is the one that was destroyed in the storm, you can see this is a heavier gauge aluminium. It's marine gauge. In fact, this is the same antenna I use on my tower at home, and in my area, you know, cops a fair flogging from the wind. Storm central there too. It's a vertical, halfway vertical. Overall length is around about 18 feet or so, and it's based on what they call a station master type antenna. Very good for local communications. Yes, you can pick up skip with it. Have done all over the Pacific area, east coast of the US, west coast, a couple out of Europe and so on. But it's more suited for our application for local communication between here and my home base station. One of the things that these station masters don't like, they're a very solid antenna. This one is. As I said, it's the same one as I use at home, top of my tower. Is that this area here doesn't like getting wet from rain. It stands the SWR, or SWR as we call it, stands it right up until it dries out. So what we've done is we've cut out PVC pipe. It's about 6.5 inches in diameter, somewhere thereabouts, and slotted it with this area bolts onto the pole, so we can get to that easily. And we've made it a little bit longer. There's the cap that goes on the end of it. It just slips over the top here. We made it a little bit longer, probably 2 or 3 inches, to give better protection to the PL259 connector. I've also got sealing tape to put around there to help keep the water out of this part of the connector. Now, we've left it open at the bottom, so if we get any condensation build up inside, it'll drain out. And we've also painted it black. It's a very rough coat, but it'll do. So that during the heat of the day, or particularly early in the morning when the sun hits it, you get any condensation build up in there from high humidity at night, heavy night dews and that sort of thing, then it'll evaporate off very quickly. Condensation doesn't seem to affect the swar on this too much, unless it's a really heavy dew. It's mainly heavy rain on this part of the section here, so that's why we've made up this, put over it, keep the direct rain off it. And from my experience with my antenna at home, that's what I did. Made a very similar thing out of Perspex, and during heavy rain and that sort of thing, the swar was rock solid, didn't vary at all. I've got mine down to less than, around about 1 or less. So the idea of today is to get this all together. I've got to replace the connector on the roof that's had water in it, corrosion. That also affects your swar, and hopefully get this up before the wind gets up too much. This is a high wind area, very exposed, and this is the type of PVC pipe we're using. This piece,
it's a sewer pipe.
Yeah, it's a sewer pipe. Also very good for geocaching too. We have done that before. This is some bits we have left over. So that's pretty well it. So I'm hoping to get this up today and get the long range comms link in. And the rest of the element, which slots into the top here. And Bob's just handing it there, giving it a bit of a coat of paint. And these areas here, the elements are put together in sections, and we seal that too, so that we don't get any corrosive build-up in the joiners, which can also affect your swar on the antenna. So that's come up very well. Good strong antennas these. It's the same ones I used at home, and mine's been up for, well, 4 years since the last time I took it down. Copped a fair flogging on my place too, and it hasn't bent. So as I said to Bob, if we bend this out here due to bad weather, I don't know what we're going to do. It's the strongest antenna I've managed to find. So that's pretty well it, folks. So we'll get this up today and replace a connector on it, swar it in, and see how we go. This is for the 11 metre band, halfway vertical. Alright, see you later.